The Iron Bowl for 2023 is in the books. Auburn falls to the Alabama Crimson Tide in the final seconds of the game, 27-24. Yes, Bama fans, it is 27-24. That last touchdown did not count, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to react to it. We're going to discuss all the ins and outs of stats, and of course, fend off all the little roll tides that happen amongst all of this in the live stream and in the post stream. Let's get into all that stuff right now. War Eagle Auburn family, War Eagle E2C Network family, thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. As always, I invite you to start off the stream or the replay, if you're watching the replay, with a couple of different things. You can smash the like button, and it did it. Well, it did something. I don't know why it does that now on this particular stream, but it does fun little things when I do that sometimes. So there you go. Smash the like button. Make sure you also post where you're watching from. Go ahead and get your typing fingers ready, especially if you're watching live. You can do it on the replay too. Post where you're watching from, your city, your state, international with a War Eagle. And if you are a Bama fan checking into this game just to come in here and rub it in, you're welcome. We might mess back with you, all that stuff. But usually, you know, those of you that don't want to come here to discuss and just kind of rub our nose in it, that just shows you the win wasn't satisfying enough for you and kind of speaks a lot more volumes about you. But anyway, you are welcome here to some degree. First of all, let me address the elephant in the room, other than the particular elephant we're discussing in this particular reaction stream. Been away for a little bit. Obviously, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more later on down the road. But if you've been missing a lot of regular E2C Network content, from me, whether it was football, basketball, I completely understand maybe frustrations and curiousness about what's been going on. Just a lot of life stuff, and all of it is fine. We're good, but we're here. So let's talk about this particular game we got to discuss. 27-24. I want to know your thoughts, reactions. And look, folks, I mean, obviously, there's not a lot of positives as Auburn fans to take away from this. I mean, there are some. You might have to reach for them a little bit. First of all, yet again, Jordan Hare shows that the Iron Bowl is up for grabs every time. Of late. Every single time of late, Alabama walks in here and nearly just craps the bed. And a lot of it is because of Auburn. A lot of it is because of what happens when they get in the confines of that particular beautiful facility and are able to put together a good game plan to beat what tends to be these days a more highly favored and highly ranked Alabama team. All that to be said, if you walk away from this matchup with nothing to be happy about, then you're just looking to be mad about things. There are some things in here that were very pleasant to see, but there are some things that are very bad to see. And let's just go ahead and point this out. Everyone can point blame everywhere they want. If you catch the punt, the game is over. If you let the punt go, the game effectively is over. This is not to put the blame solely on Coy Moore, because obviously everybody else has got to take care of their business. But I saw he came into the game, and I was like, that's interesting. I don't like that. And then, lo and behold, we dropped the ball, and here we are, 27-24. Could have been 24-20 or maybe 27-20 if we had marched down there and gotten a field goal to make it a touchdown lead at that point, or at least made them go down and tie it at the end of it. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. My voice is starting to go a little bit here. So obviously want to talk about some of those things that you all want to discuss. Let's talk to you all. Corey's here. Good to see you, Corey. Thanks for the well wishes. We got Brian here. Unbeaten Lake is in pain. I'm not in pain anymore. I'm just kind of accepting of what happened. This is a year of rebuild, and this is what you get sometimes with rebuild. WT is here. Good to see. We got Green Johnson, David Hunt, and Derek Baker checking in on Facebook. Good to see all of you here. Let's see. Green says from Birmingham, Alabama. I thought we were going to win that game. It was so close. Don't know what happened. Catch a punt, you win the game. but it happened. Alabama looks up this year. What? Looks up this year? Is that what you're saying? This is an Alabama team that has all the potential in the world, but cannot put it together in a way that makes them just kind of put people away, especially a team like Auburn. We knew they were susceptible this year, and boy, did we show it. This was a team. Jalen Milroe is a good quarterback. He is not a great quarterback. Now, he may become a great quarterback. Throws like you saw on 4th and 31 show that he could become that, and that may have been a step in the right direction. But he is definitely not one of their greatest that they've had. Part of the reason he was benched early in the year. 4th and 30, make him cross the line of scrimmage. Yeah, sure, yeah. Let's see here. I wish we would have gotten a pass interference on the last one. They wouldn't have won. I don't agree with that necessarily. So there we're 4th and 31. They're at the 31 effectively. If you take the pass interference call, it's an automatic first down. They're at the 15. That's a very manageable situation passing wise too. I would have much rather, even with the result, had that shot at the 4th and 31 if it just wasn't Auburn's night tonight. But I understand what you're saying, that the way things have been trending, you kind of take the chance on that. You make the pass interference. You never know what happens at that point. Then again, who thought a 4th and 31 was possible? I guess a team that knows the value of 1 second knows anything is possible. It was fun all night, folks. If you weren't in the stadium, you missed out. We had a lot of fun with all that all night. And, Bama fans will sit there and act like it doesn't bother them. Boy, does it bother them. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You can blame TJ. No, it's TJ. You can't blame TJ anymore. He's gone. DJ all you want, but he made some great plays tonight. And everybody's got a bad play. And unfortunately, his bad play was, well, it wasn't even bad play. He made great plays when we needed him to, but not when we absolutely needed him to. Brian points out, had a bad feeling as soon as I saw the 2-man rush, but Bama still made the play, and love to see the Jordan Hare magic is alive. It is. What an environment. Great, raucous crowd. The fans showed out. The recruits that showed up, I'm sure, are well-versed now in what this team can be like. Program will be like when it gets back fully on its feet, if this is what it's like right now. So that is a positive to take away from it. Not looking for moral victories here, but you obviously got to take the good and the bad with all this. But I've seen a lot of people, this is the common point that people are making, rushing only 2 on that. If it works out, he's a genius. If it doesn't like it did, you're an idiot, right? I don't know that there was a right or a wrong answer there. It was just Alabama's night. If you do rush more than that, you run the risk of him getting loose and then running in for the touchdown, or running up to the line of scrimmage on a scramble and then them coming up to get him and then someone being open that way. It really is what it is. You got to give credit to Jalen Milroe. As I've said, he is not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. Could be a great quarterback, and that was a throw that shows that he has that potential. So it's kind of, to me, like, yeah, I would like to see that, but if it works, he's a genius. Closer than you thought. This is what I expected. We haven't, obviously, because I've been away for a little bit, we haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of our last few preview shows. I probably would have predicted somewhere in the ballpark of it probably would have been like 31 Alabama, Auburn 24, 23, something like that. And I'm not just saying that because it's very close to what the actual score was, but that's what it kind of felt like to me. I felt like it was going to come down to a final Alabama drive, as it has tended to happen in the Iron Bowl and Jordan Hare as of late. You should be giddy about recruiting because it's going to start picking up even more. Bowl games don't get announced till after the championship week, so you got to wait a little while. But yeah, still a lot to. Linda, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Don't think he's an idiot for rushing 2. I just don't like it. Make him make a faster decision when they need 31 yards. but I respect the coach's call. What I was talking about, Brian, with someone in the stands was what I would do in this scenario with that much room. I would have run a hook and ladder. You know, those of you don't know, it's a receiver catches the ball and immediately dumps it off to a crossing receiver underneath. If you go watch the Boise State Oklahoma finale, and you'll see a hook and ladder. Yeah, it's a brilliant play when it's done properly. I want to run a hook and ladder, and because everybody's coming to the guy who just received the ball as he dips it off to someone going the other way, where everybody's looking this way, and they probably wouldn't have been able to score with that much room on that. It would have been a very similar ending that way to the Boise State Oklahoma game from 2006, 7, something like that. But anyway, they got it done with a great pass in the back of the end zone. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. We had a very typical, very annoying, very overweight Bama fan who was very uninformed about football and thought he was, and sitting across me, and had a lot of fun messing with him back to me, obviously, you know, at the end there too. And, you know, he was sitting there arguing with that ball that was on the sideline out. He was literally saying, who's in? I'm like, they're literally showing you the white underneath his foot, and you're telling me that's in? But on the play at the end of the game, or the winning touchdown, it was in. And I wasn't going to argue that. I mean, here's the difference is I can be intellectually honest about something and say my team messed up. My team gave up that play. Your team made that play. It is what it is. Let's see here. Kevlar, I know people are extremely disappointed, but we had a chance to win this game, and a lot of people didn't think we did. You know, if I may play devil's advocate, Kevlar, for those people that are kind of more in that camp and more frustrated, it feels like we've been saying that a lot, isn't it? We were in this game. We're so close, especially in relation to Alabama. It's time to start taking that step over that hump. And not to say that had to happen this year, but, you know, those things, we need to start having less and less of those type of conversations at the end, right? But I agree. If you are not somewhat pleased with the team's effort against the number 8 Alabama team, not the most formidable Alabama team, then you don't know what's going on, really. I don't like mentioning anything to do with Boise State. Really? I don't mind Boise State. I don't want Boise State. David comes out of nowhere. Moral victories don't matter. I'm talking about moral victories. I'm just messing with you. No one's claiming moral victories here. We're just talking about the good and the bad, because if all you do is talk about the bad, then you're just a grumpy old person. I've been accused of that in the past, and I try not to be. Who was the OC for Boise who called the hook and ladder? It's tough. I'm gonna let y'all figure that one out. Rumor was that he was in Auburn today for some reason. It really wasn't. It was just somebody who looked like him. Yeah, it was interesting. They did call Alabama for a lot of holding calls. There were still plenty they didn't call, as per usual. But the docket on the Nick Saban paycheck was let the face mask go. I mean, really, we had another Bama fan sitting behind me that was literally arguing that there wasn't a face mask several times. And I said, dude, when their head literally goes like that, that's a face mask. That's not safe. A lot of that going on throughout the game. And look, we had our penalties too. And I take them when they come. Now, if they're bogus, they're bogus. It is funny that on that kickoff where Auburn got a legal block in the back penalty, there was that clear face mask before the block in the back happened. I mean, it was. Anyway, all right. Keep your comments, questions coming. I want to jump on into maybe some stats. 27-24 tonight. Much closer than probably a lot of people thought it would be. On the night, whoa, the passing guys. We do not break 100 yet again. Peyton Thorne, 5 for 16, 91 yards of touchdown. Several drops. If I remember correctly, there were about 3, I'm going to say 4 that should have been catches. So that puts him in the 9 area. And if you just kind of take away the Hail Mary at the end of the first half, because that's just a gimme play at that point. It's a 10 and 16 night, probably 150 yards. more than that, because there's 2 wide receivers right over the middle that are going to just run forever. Now, hats off to Javaris Johnson and Peyton Thorne hooking up tonight on that 12-yard. Actually, that was his rushing attack on his 4-catch, 76-yard night. Here's the thing that frustrates me is Javaris Johnson, Caleb Burton, and Robbie Ashford are the only ones to receive the ball tonight. Robbie Ashford is your 3rd leading receiver. Explain that one to me. I get one to put him out there. I don't get it that much. Thorne looked decent today. When he was able to stay on his feet, he did. You know, Peyton Thorne got a lot of upside to him. Sometimes it doesn't reveal itself, but a lot of times that's not his fault. Especially at the end of the game there, we allowed a lot of sacks, or the second half, we allowed a lot of sacks in crucial moments. Not a lot of time for him to have room to throw the ball down the field, which is part of the reason why our passing game struggles. I think decent is a fair statement on that, Corey, but it definitely wasn't a stellar night for him. Let's see here. Even if it's Birmingham Bowl, we need to finish with a win. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when they get there. Still plenty of time to go here. Here, we got a good Bama fan here. See, these are the Bama fans that we love to have on here, so welcome. Bama fan here, awesome Iron Bowl. Tired from watching it, you should be. I think hopefully, Kendall, you know now, if you didn't know before, never, ever, ever take this game for granted, at least when it's enduring here. It's the second time in a row that this Alabama team should have walked in and at least put it away at some point, and they were unable to do it. Now, they put it away by the skin of their teeth, and credit to Jalen Milroe and them for doing that. But, yeah, it was here's the thing. You never want this game to become Georgia Tech. Now, last I checked, they were tied, but that was a long time ago. You never want it to become the way Florida and Florida State has been of recent. That one was pretty interesting last time I checked, too, if you're watching this live. You want this rivalry to remain, even if it is on lopsided or getting more lopsided on the win column. You want to know that every time that someone tunes into this game, they're going to see a good matchup, and they are. Now, and even last year in Bryant-Denny, the first half was pretty decent. Second half, not so much. So it's good to know that this rivalry is still very much alive, still very much capable of both teams winning more years than not. And I think that's what makes it the best rivalry in college football, the best rivalry in college sports, the best rivalry in sports, period. Hot take. Yes, I am still alive. Addressed that at the beginning. And it has been a bit of a busy time for me. So getting in while I can. I would say that we're not back to our regularly scheduled program just yet. Maybe a little bit more this week, Neil, and for those of you that are here regularly. But in the coming weeks, we will get back in the saddle, especially with basketball here too. But this is a football stream, so we're going to focus on that. Let's see if this Bama fan wants to behave themselves. Welcome. Congratulations on the win. Any productive, constructive, not reductive thoughts on the game? A couple more stats maybe to talk about. Like we were just, before we kind of address some more comments, just frustrated with the fact that only 3 people received the ball tonight in the passing game, and one of those was a quarterback. Rushing, though, was a pretty good night. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Jarquez Hunter, 14 for 93 yards. Nearly a touchdown here, a long of 42. Damari Alston had a long of 56, 10 yards, or 10 attempts for 85 yards in his touchdown. Peyton Thorne, 15 for 57. Not like world beating, but if he doesn't take, and if we don't cause several of his sacks, much different story there. You know, you wonder if Robbie had been utilized a little bit more in the run game than he was. Would that have, and had a little bit more success, would that have been the difference? But we pretty much knew what was happening when, and so did Bama when they came in. So Milroe tonight, 18 carries for 107, and then he has a okay night. I mean, pretty good night. 259, 2 touchdowns. if he doesn't nail that last touchdown, he's sitting at 228, 1 touchdown. It's a pretty basic night for what he typically is capable of as the Bama quarterback. We kept McClellan in check for the most part. That was one of my worries coming into this game. So Auburn did a lot of good things to make this a game. Alabama didn't help themselves, though. And I agree. KVLT, best rivalry in sports. That's why we love talking about it here. I was disappointed in the result cheering from Auburn and Missouri. We got London, Missouri, Alabama, obviously Georgia checking in. A lot of people from everywhere checking in tonight. This is what you get when you sign up for the Iron Bowl, whether you're a fan of one of the teams or you're just watching it because it is the greatest rivalry in sports. Yeah, you're going to get some of the best games and some of the best things. Neil clearly wants us to know that this loss is on Hugh Freeze. He wrote it twice. Why is this on Coach Hugh Freeze? Because to me, every loss is on the coach. I don't think that's a novelty thing. Every loss is on the coach. It stops and ends with them. But to me, this loss is on several people. This loss is on Coy Moore for dropping the punt and maybe some miscommunications by the coaching staff on who should have been out there or maybe someone was hurt. Someone made a case that DJ James is to blame because he was unable to make his play, even though he made several plays before that. What else? The offensive line for not being able to establish a run game when we needed it at the end of the game in a better way. Wide receivers for dropping the ball. We can place blame everywhere. It's not on one person, it's not on one foot, but it always stops with the coach. Let's see here. Bama wins next week and no SEC team goes to the playoffs. Don't do that to yourself, Corey. Remember what I told a lot of you guys, and I don't know if you even did this, Corey, early on in the season, when everybody was celebrating Bama losing to Texas. They're done. We're going to kill them. We almost beat them. I told you, do not do this to yourself. Bama will find a way to still be in this thing at the end. And, it's not easy for them to get there, but a couple losses here and there over the next week, you just never know. You never know. I'm preparing for Bama to be in the playoffs just because that's how I try to prepare myself for the, Let's see. Brian says, this loss is on the bandwagon fans who only see the good when we win. Sarcasm to point out the absurd. It's on everybody, right? It's on everybody. The fact that AU had a lead in this game is a testament to how good Coach Freeze is as a coach. When he gets his players, he'll show out. And, there's a degree there where you don't want to keep using that as an excuse the entire time, but this is his first year. And so there should be a lot of grace, leeway, all that kind of stuff. This is a team that went down against Alabama and had every reason to kind of lay over and kind of feel that pressure mounting. It's like, oh, here we go again. They got their lead. They're going to build it. And no, they responded. Got a lead. I looked over to an Auburn fan sitting next to me and I said, if we don't score here, we're going to lose this game. That's when we were up by 4. We needed 3 points at least to keep us safe in the scenario that ended up happening, and we were not able to get it. So Jalen Milroe is like the SEC media's darling, and he got his moment tonight. And he definitely he earned it. He did earn it. So give him credit where credit is due. Defensive stats tonight. We haven't talked about those. Jalen McLeod had him a great night just on the stat sheet, but obviously we all saw him out there flying around. 8 total tackles, 1 for a loss, 6 solo. Austin Keys had a great night. Good to see him back out there after the way he had his beginning of the season ruined by an injury. Keontae Scott had a good night. Eugene Asante had a bunch of great plays. Larry Nixon, the senior, had a good night, showed up in the stat. DJ James, besides his play at the end of the game, letting the guy catch the pass. So 8 tackles for McLeod. It was basically 6, a bunch with 5 and a bunch with 4. who got some sacks tonight? Marcus Harris showed up in a big way in a crucial moment. Just looking to see if there's any other stats from that I received. I would also like to tip the hat, as you see my hairline receding, to the punt return coverage tonight. Punter and punt return coverage. I mean, they really put Bama in some holes. And even when it wasn't backed up against the one, they put them in very difficult situations to allow them to the fans and the crowd to get into this thing. Let's see here. At least we're not as sad as Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M fans. Texas A&M won today, didn't they? Let's see here. John, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Justin's here. Good to see you. This one will hurt for a long time. I wish Moore would have let the ball go, but there is no way you give up on 4th and 31. Absolutely, you can point blame a lot of different places, but it is a fact. If you catch the ball, if you just let it go, I would say if he catches the ball, we win the game. I think we can get a first down. If it rolls all the way back to like the 5 and they've got a little bit of energy back there, back where most of their crowd was, things would be a little bit more dicey. There you go. A&M law. Oh, that's right. See, listen, I've had a long day, man. My day started off rough too. It's ended rough. Ann, good to see you. If you can't sell a 50-50 recruit, the atmosphere, the need, the program trajectory, the potential, then Coach Freeze should just hang it up. Future is bright if we land a top 10 recruiting class. I would say I would disagree with you a little bit. I think a lot of times we put way too much emphasis on getting a top 5, a top 10. If you get the right players and if you're able to get some of these quote unquote blue chip guys, obviously you're going to find yourself in that ranking. But sometimes we focus on those things as opposed to the right players. Again, if that was the case, if that's all it took, Texas A&M would not be searching for a new head coach. I forgot LSU beat Texas A&M. It's been a day. Kevin from Lubbock, good to see you. Thanks. We got a lot of people checking in from all over the place. Let's see here. Thought we played hard. Good effort. Honestly surprised at how close the game was. See, I really wasn't. And I'm kind of shocked that so many of you were shocked by this. Do you not know that magic happens in Jordan-Hare? Do you not know this? It was probably little, like 3-point differential is closer than I was probably going to get. I was going to give them about 6 or 7, but that's still a close game. I mean, it's what happened at the end of the game. You know, Bama winning by a touchdown, essentially. Neil thinks that Bama, a lot of you are talking about the SC championship game. Yeah, maybe. It just seems like things are going to go that way, doesn't it? You know, I almost found myself at the end of this season going, you know what? I might be able to stomach Bama knocking Georgia off. Then I sat next to Bama fans. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to let them keep rolling at this point and just have to suffer through the barking. Neil knows about that. If we keep Perry Colton, I see. Yeah, we're trying to get back in the saddle, John, as best as we can. Trying to get back in there. Lebanon, Tennessee. Man, we got people all over the place tonight. Good to see all of you guys. Michael Trott. Didn't see you this year in the stadium, I don't believe, sir. 6-6 going to a bowl game after last year is better than the season with Harsin. I mean, that is a undeniable fact. Going bowling is a much better year than not going bowling. And I really think that we can, we'll take some time and talk about it like holistically, but I think right now, just in a reaction show, we can unequivocally say, this is a little bit of a disappointment in terms of what was the potential of this team. A lot more higher hopes than were realized. especially the way they played against Georgia and Alabama. Really, it was the LSU game was the only game we were really truly out of. Even the Texas A&M ended badly, but we were in that game. So, this is a Auburn program team as bad as it's had it for quite some time. They can compete with the best still. Brian, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for being part of the best little family within the Auburn family. I'm glad Bama was not credited for that pick six. Honestly, missed the why, what happened. I think he stepped out. I think that's what it was, but I didn't care at that point, to be honest with you. Oh, man. We all got those people. We all got them. Yeah, John, by the way, if you're watching or listening, if you've messaged me, if some of you have my number, have texted me, listen, I haven't gotten back to you guys. It's just, we're hanging in there right now. And so sometimes I'm not going to get to those things. Like I said, hopefully but John, I did see that you messaged me on Patreon. I was going to get back to that when I can, but just kind of as a big overarching statement, if you reached out on social media and we haven't personally reached back out or anything like that, just please do have patience as we're trying to get ourselves back in the saddle here. Let's see here. Oh, well, congratulations and money. Yes, I understand too. I will say, after my first season as a season ticket holder, I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was a lot easier than trying to scrounge for tickets every day. So, I think we're about to have to move on here from this parking lot, but we'll see here in just a second. Almost all Bama fans are insufferable. Well, my mother's a Bama fan, and she's not insufferable. I love her dearly, even despite her mistake. Yeah, I'll go check that out, John, when I have some time, probably later tonight. All right, we are at 32 minutes. What haven't we talked about from this game? I know everybody's inclination and reaction game is to go to the next thing. We've got a whole week until a bowl game even becomes a reality. So let's just put a pin in that for now. If we are able to do a Wednesday night show this week, we will definitely discuss a lot of that. But there's still a lot that's got to finish up this week and a lot that's got to happen next week to determine where everything lines up. I guess technically with the championship games, it doesn't really affect us all that much, but yeah. So anyway, this gentleman right here may be telling me to move. No, he's not. Thought it was. He's like creeping around my car and staring in here, so thought he was going to be asking me to move. But anyway, we might need to wrap it up here. I don't know if that's a worker or what it is. Would have loved a live stream when AU lost it. No, I would not. Personally, I could not do that, but not for the reason of us losing. Will you do a portal show? A portal show, like, what do you mean? Like where I go into the transfer portal? I don't know that I would do a specific portal show, but we kind of talk about all these things kind of as we get to them. I don't know. All right, folks, let's do final comments, questions, derogatory rebuttals. Get them in now. Get them in while they're hot. Reminder, I don't have cue cards ready for you. But so, as I've said at the beginning of the show, please do have a little bit of patience still while I'm kind of getting my life back in order, as we just had a very hectic and busy season. And my hope is that we'll be back on our normal Wednesday, 8 Eastern time live stream schedule. Maybe 9 this week, Eastern time on Sundays for tomorrow for the Auburn Experience podcast. We shall see. So those are what you normally expect from us. We will very soon be back in the saddle doing regular basketball shows too. Plenty of content here at E2C Network, even though football season is essentially done. All right. With that being said, guys, you are the best little family within the Auburn family. And we did have, at least on the live stream, some Bama fans come in and share with us, and they were mostly respectful. So that is very much appreciated. For those of you Bama fans that would probably didn't even watch to the end of this on the replay because you just came in to bet your little RTs. I hope you're stuck in traffic and all that kind of stuff. But seriously, in all seriousness, for whoever stopped by, we appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, and being part of the little family within the Auburn family. Until we talk to you again. Where you go.